Hello everyone and welcome to Tech Cravers. It's been a few months since I reviewed the Anbernic RG35XX. That handheld hit the market like a bomb, being a small, super budget-friendly handheld that above else was available and in stock, in contrast to its biggest competitors at the time, the Miyoo Mini and Miyoo Mini Plus. But even though the RG35XX was praised for being more or less the perfect mini handheld, well, if that's what you can call a mini handheld, it also had a few cons. One being the lack of Wi-Fi and Bluetooth, and one being the CPU that at the time was a bit on the lower side. Anbernic took all the criticism and got back to work, and later launched what I have in front of me now, the RG35XX Plus. And no, this is not a bigger sized handheld, it's more of a pro version of the RG35XX, or if you may, what the RG35XX should have been from the beginning. And despite having improved on basically every aspect of the handheld, Anbernic still sells this handheld at a very competitive price point. And in this video, I thought we would check it out. So without any further delay, let's jump into it. I want to kick this off by going through some of the specs of this device. The RG35XX Plus comes with the all-winner H700 CPU, that's 4 Cortex A53 cores at 1.5 GHz, and it has a Mali G31 MP2 GPU. We get 1 GB of LPDDR4 RAM, 64 GB of SD card storage for our OS, and another slot for another SD card where you can put your games. For display, we get a 3.5-inch LCD at 640 by 480 resolution, and this time around we get a 3300 mAh battery, which is super easy to replace in contrast to its predecessor. The handheld runs over Linux with support for Wi-Fi 5 and Bluetooth 4.2. Anbernic hasn't changed too much on the outside, but as they say, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. On the right side of the device we have the two micro SD card slots, one is for the OS and one is for the games. We also have a reset button and a power on button. On the opposite side we only have one button, and that is the volume up and down. On the bottom we have our USB-C for charging, as well as a 3.5mm headphone jack. On the top we have LED indicators and a mini HDMI for video output. On the back we have some of the biggest changes from the previous model. Apart from an easy accessible battery, the shoulder buttons have also been slightly redesigned to enhance comfort and ease of grip. In terms of size, it's quite small, but no way near as tiny as the Miyoo Mini. And as long as the Miyoo Mini exists, I wouldn't call any handheld at the size of RG35XX Plus a mini handheld. Although I would argue it has more or less a perfect size for a vertical handheld. On the front, nearly everything remains identical to the original RG35XX, with the exception of the D-pad. The edges and corners have been subtly rounded, significantly enhancing controls in games that require rolling the D-pad. This adjustment proves especially beneficial in fighting games, where such precision is crucial. Let's switch gears and talk some about the stock software. If you have the RG35XX, then a lot of this is gonna seem similar to you. Once you boot it up for the first time, you will have a few icons to choose from. Very basic, and there's no installation process to go through. If you go inside the Game ROMs menu, you can choose to look for games on one of your two micro SD cards. And this device that I have here actually had games on both cards. I don't know if that will be the case once you order, but at least it lets you choose which card to look inside. All systems that you have games for are listed in the next menu, and you can jump into a category and choose a game using the A and B button on your device. For emulation, this will play anything you toss at it, up to and including many N64 and Dreamcast games. But that is of course also something you wouldn't buy the RG35XX Plus for, since it lacks an analog stick. But there are a few games there which you can control with a D-pad, so it's nice to know that it works at least. For other systems like SNES, GBA and even Nintendo DS, this is gonna be an absolute perfect device for you to grab. If you're a bit more advanced than the average user, you can also download and install Garlic OS 2.0 Beta and swap out the stock firmware with a community-made one. I haven't had time to test this myself yet, but I know for a fact that it always enhances every handheld I install it on. Anbernic is a bit on the lazy side with their softwares, and it's almost as if they rely on the community to fix it for them as long as they supply the handhelds. Anbernic hasn't had the best year, to be totally honest, where many of their products have found themselves outpaced by competitors. Therefore, it's really awesome to see how strong they seem to be finishing the year with the RG35XX Plus, and just when I was finishing this video out of the blue like these companies often work, they also announced the RG35XX which is the RG35XX Plus but in an horizontal form factor and with dual analog sticks. And if they can keep down the price on that handheld as well, it's gonna be something really awesome to start off the new year with. And speaking of the price, you can purchase the Anbernic RG35XX Plus directly from Anbernic's site, and I will of course include a link to it in the video description. The handheld costs $64, and if you choose to buy it with games it adds an additional $15, bringing the total to $78. This makes it one of the most affordable handhelds of the year, especially considering its high quality construction and the user-friendly design. And that's actually it for this brief overview of the budget-friendly RG35XX Plus from Anbernic. This device is worth your money if you want to play all your favorite retro games up to and including PS1 and Nintendo DS on the go. It will also play Nintendo 64 and Dreamcast, but that won't be a perfect solution since it lacks the proper controller for those systems. You can of course use Bluetooth controllers and connect the device to a monitor should you want that, but I think there are better solutions for N64 on the go. Let me know what you think of this device in a comment down below, hit the like button if you enjoyed watching this video, and also don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already for more content like this in the future. Have a Merry Christmas everyone, and a Happy New Year!